The air smelled of smoke and blood. Jin-Ho wiped sweat from his forehead as he bent over another wounded soldier. Around him, the sounds of battle had faded, but the aftermath remained. Bodies lay scattered across the rocky ground of Nexus 7. "Stay with me," Jin-Ho said to the young man beneath his hands. The soldier had a deep gash across his chest. "You're going to be fine." Jin-Ho reached for his medical bag. His fingers found a small injector filled with blue liquid. He pressed it against the soldier's neck. Within seconds, the man's breathing steadied. "Another one saved, Doc," a voice called. Jin-Ho looked up to see Captain Da-hyun walking toward him. The captain's armor was covered in dust and alien blood. "Yes, sir. He'll recover," Jin-Ho said, standing up. He was tired. They had been fighting for 3 days straight. The Voraki attacks never seemed to end. "Good work." Da-hyun nodded. "But we need you to work faster. More wounded coming in from the eastern ridge." Jin-Ho wanted to argue. Healing took time, but he simply nodded. "I'll do my best, sir." As Da-hyun walked away, Jin-Ho looked across the battlefield. The Voraki had attacked at dawn. The alien creatures were tall, with thick armor-like skin and sharp claws. They were natural predators and fierce fighters. Humans called them the teeth of the galaxy for good reason. A medical transport ship landed nearby. Jin-Ho watched as 2 field medics carried a stretcher toward his tent. "Medic Jin-Ho," one called. "We need help." Jin-Ho ran to them. On the stretcher was Kim Yi-jun, a scout he had treated many times before. Her left arm was missing below the elbow. "Get her inside," Jin-Ho ordered. Now, inside the medical tent, Jin-Ho worked quickly. He cleaned the wound and applied a special gel that stopped the bleeding. "Will I lose my arm forever?" Yi-jun asked, her voice weak. Jin-Ho gave her a small smile. "Not if I can help it. When we get you back to the main ship, they can grow you a new one." Hope flickered in her eyes before she passed out from the pain medicine. Jin-Ho finished wrapping her wound, then moved to the next patient. Hours passed. Jin-Ho lost count of how many soldiers he treated. Some had claw marks across their bodies. Others had been hit by Voraki energy weapons. The worst injuries came from those who had fought the aliens hand-to-hand. "You need to rest," said Ta-won, another medic who worked with Jin-Ho. "You've been at this for 15 hours straight." Jin-Ho shook his head. "Can't rest. Too many need help." Ta-won placed a hand on Jin-Ho's shoulder. "You were always the best of us, even back in training. But even you need sleep." Jin-Ho sighed. His friend was right. He had been pushing himself too hard. He remembered what his teacher, Dr. Hae-yun, always said. "A tired medic makes mistakes, and in our line of work, mistakes cost lives." Just as Jin-Ho was about to take a break, Captain Da-hyun burst into the tent. "The Voraki are regrouping. Intelligence says they'll attack again at nightfall." The captain's face was grim. "Get everyone ready to move. We're pulling back to base camp horizon." Jin-Ho looked at the rows of wounded. "Some of these people can't be moved yet." Da-hyun's eyes hardened. "Those are orders. We move everyone in 2 hours. The ones who can't travel." He didn't finish the sentence. He didn't need to. "I won't leave anyone behind," Jin-Ho said firmly. "Sometimes, medic, war requires hard choices." Da-hyun turned to leave. 2 hours. Not a minute more. When the captain left, Jin-Ho began preparing the wounded for transport. As he worked, he looked at his dwindling medical supplies. The fight was far from over, and he was running out of medicine. In the distance, the alien war cry of the Voraki echoed across the plains of Nexus 7. Night was coming, and with it, more battle, more wounds, more choices. Jin-Ho took a deep breath and got back to work. This was his job. This was his duty. No matter what, he would save as many as he could. Jin-Ho packed medical supplies into a large box. His hands moved quickly, sorting what they could take and what they had to leave behind. Outside, the sounds of the evacuation filled the air. Soldiers shouted orders. Engines roared as transport ships prepared for takeoff. He opened a small cooling unit. Inside, 5 empty slots stared back at him. Only one vial remained. The bright blue liquid inside seemed to glow. Resolin 9, the most powerful medicine humans had ever made. It could heal almost any wound, regrow tissue, and fight off infection. Jin Ho picked up the vial and stared at it. "Just one left," he whispered. "Talking to yourself again?" Ta Wan asked as he entered the tent. Jin Ho carefully put the vial in his personal medical kit. "I'm down to my last Resolin 9. Tai Wan's face grew serious. "Save it. We don't know what's waiting for us at Base Camp Horizon." "I know." Jin Ho closed his kit. His mind drifted back to his training days at the medical academy on Earth. Medicine is not just about healing bodies, Dr. He-yun had told her students. It's about protecting life in all its forms. Jin Ho, sitting in the front row, had raised his hand. "Even if that life is trying to kill us. Like the Voraki." The classroom had gone quiet. The war had just started then. Dr. He-yun looked at him with kind but serious eyes. "Especially then, Jin Ho. Healing transcends species. Remember that when you're out there." A loud explosion shook Jin Ho from his memory. He rushed outside the medical tent. In the distance, bright flashes lit up the evening sky. "They're here earlier than we thought," Captain Dahyun shouted, running toward him. "The Voraki are attacking from the west. We need to speed up the evacuation." Jin Ho nodded and ran back to finish packing. His fingers touched the pocket where he kept the last vial of Resolin 9. One dose, one chance to save a life. "Medic," a soldier called from outside. "We need you." Jin Ho grabbed his field kit and ran out. 3 soldiers carried a wounded woman. Blood soaked her uniform. Jin Ho recognized her. Sergeant Du Yan, one of their best fighters. "What happened?" Jin Ho asked, helping them lay her down. "Voraki scout got through our lines," one soldier explained. "She killed it, but not before it slashed her stomach." Jin Ho examined the wound. It was bad, but not fatal. He used his regular supplies to clean and close the wound. His hand hovered over the pocket with the Resolin 9, but he pulled away. She would survive without it. "Get her on the next transport," Jin Ho ordered. "She needs more care than I can give here." As the soldiers carried her away, Captain Dahyun approached again. His face was covered in dust and sweat. "The last transport leaves in 30 minutes, he said. "We're destroying everything we can't take. The Voraki can't have our supplies." Jin Ho looked around at the camp. "I still have patients who need to be moved. 25 minutes, then we burn it all," Dahyun said firmly. "Don't make me leave you behind, Jin Ho." As the captain walked away, Jin Ho returned to the medical tent. Most of the wounded had been evacuated. Only a few remained, waiting for the last transport. He checked his supplies one more time. The radio crackled. "All personnel, this is command. The Voraki main force is 15 minutes away. Last transport departing in 20 minutes. Anyone not on board will be left behind." Jin Ho worked faster, preparing the last patients for transport. As he worked, the ground shook with distant explosions. The Voraki were getting closer. In his pocket, the last vial of Resolin 9 felt heavy. Jin Ho thought of Dr. He-yun's words again. Healing transcends species. He hoped he wouldn't need to test that belief tonight. But war had a way of testing all beliefs. 10 minutes to departure, the radio announced. "All personnel report to landing zone Alpha." Jin Ho looked around the now empty medical tent. He had done all he could. It was time to go. As he stepped outside, the setting sun cast long shadows across the battlefield. Something moved in those shadows, something that would change everything. Jin Ho stared at the wounded Voraki warrior. Calyx lay on the ground, breathing in short, painful gasps. Dark blue blood pooled beneath the alien's massive body. The wound in its side was deep and getting worse. "You should kill me," Calyx said in broken human words. "That is your way." Jin-Ho shook his head. "That's not my way. I'm a medic." The radio on Jin-Ho's belt crackled to life. "All personnel, 5 minutes to final departure. Repeat, 5 minutes." Jin-Ho looked toward the landing zone where the last transport waited, then back to the dying alien. In his medical kit, the last vial of Resolin 9 seemed to grow heavier. I could walk away, Jin-Ho thought. No one would know. This is the enemy. But Dr. He-Yun's words echoed in his mind. Healing transcends species. Jin-Ho knelt beside Calyx. "I can help you, but I don't know if human medicine will work on your kind." The alien's eyes, 4 of them, arranged in a diamond pattern, fixed on Jin-Ho. Then, why help enemy? Jin-Ho reached for his medical scanner and ran it over Calyx's body. The scanner showed severe internal bleeding. Without treatment, the alien would die within the hour. "Because pain is universal," Jin-Ho said, "and so is mercy." Jin-Ho studied the scanner results more carefully. Voreki biology was different from human, but there were similarities. Their blood carried oxygen. Their cells needed energy. Maybe, just maybe, Resolin 9 could work. 3 minutes to departure, the radio announced. "All personnel report in." Jin-Ho's hand went to his pocket. He felt the cool glass vial, the last of his Resolin 9. If he used it on Calyx, he would have none left for his fellow humans. If a comrade needed it later, they might die because of his choice today. "Is there no one else of your kind who can help you?" Jin-Ho asked. Calyx made a low rumbling sound. "My unit thinks I am dead. Left me behind." The alien warrior coughed, spraying blue blood on the ground. "Why you not? Leave too." Jin-Ho thought of Captain Da-hyun. He would see this as treason. Helping the enemy, wasting precious resources. But Jin-Ho also thought of all the wounded he had treated, human and alien alike. They looked the same when they were in pain. They all feared death. They all fought to live. 2 minutes to departure, the radio warned. Security teams returning to ship. Jin-Ho made his decision. He pulled out the vial of Resolin 9 and loaded it into his injector. "This might help you," he told Calyx, "or it might do nothing, or it might kill you faster. I don't know. But doing nothing will definitely let you die." The alien's 4 eyes blinked slowly. "You risk your medicine on enemy." "Yes," Jin-Ho said simply. "Why?" Jin-Ho found it hard to explain. "Because it's right. Because in my culture, healers help anyone who needs it. Because maybe if we showed mercy more often, we wouldn't be at war." He placed the injector against Calyx's neck, where he could see a major blood vessel pulsing beneath the tough skin. "This will hurt." The alien nodded. Jin-Ho pressed the button. The bright blue liquid flowed into Calyx's body. For a moment, nothing happened. Then Calyx's body went rigid. A strange sound, halfway between a growl and a scream, escaped the alien's mouth. 1 minute to departure, the radio announced. Last call for all personnel. Jin-Ho watched as the Resolin 9 began to work. The bleeding slowed. The alien's breathing became steadier. Calyx's 4 eyes widened in surprise. "What you do to me?" "I helped you," Jin-Ho said. "Now I have to go." As Jin-Ho stood to leave, he heard footsteps approaching. He turned to see Captain Da-hyun standing at the edge of the clearing, his weapon raised. "What have you done, Jin-Ho?" the captain asked, his voice cold with anger. Jin-Ho stood between Da-hyun and the wounded alien. "My job, sir. I'm a medic." "Step aside, Jin-Ho," Captain Da-hyun ordered. His finger rested on the trigger of his weapon. "That thing is our enemy." Jin-Ho did not move. "This thing is my patient now." Da-hyun's eyes narrowed. "We have 30 seconds to get to the transport. Move now, or we both get left behind." The radio crackled again. Final boarding call. Engines starting. Behind Jinho, Calyx tried to stand. The Resolin 9 was working faster than Jinho expected. The wound was already closing. It's healing, Dahyun said in disbelief. You used medicine on it. Our medicine. Jinho nodded. The last vial. Anger flashed across Dahyun's face. That was for our people. Do you know how many humans might die because of what you just did? I know what I did, Jinho said calmly. I saved a life. The sound of the transport's engines grew louder. They were running out of time. We need to go, Dahyun said. Now. Jinho looked back at Calyx. The alien was sitting up now, watching them with all four eyes. Can you hide? Jinho asked Calyx. Other humans will come looking. The alien nodded slowly. Yes, I know. Safe place. Jinho turned back to Dahyun. Let's go. They ran through the forest toward the landing zone. The transport's engines were at full power. They were about to take off. Wait, Dahyun shouted, waving his arms. 2 more coming in. The transport pilot saw them. The rear door remained open as they sprinted the final distance. Dahyun reached it first, jumping inside. He turned to help Jinho. A loud explosion shook the ground. Jinho stumbled. In the distance, a Voraki attack ship appeared, firing at the human transport. Jump! Dahyun yelled, reaching out his hand. Jinho leaped toward the ship. Their fingers almost touched. Then the transport lurched upward, avoiding enemy fire. Dahyun fell backward into the ship. Jinho fell to the ground. No, Dahyun shouted, but it was too late. The transport had to lift off or be destroyed. Jinho watched as the ship rose higher and higher. Then it turned and shot into the sky, leaving a trail of smoke behind. He was alone now, left behind on Nexus 7. The Voraki attack ship circled once, then flew away. They had only wanted to drive off the human transport, not destroy it. Jinho guessed they wanted to examine the abandoned human base. He needed to hide. The forest was his best chance. Jinho grabbed his medical bag and ran back into the trees. For hours, Jinho moved through the dense forest. Night fell, making it harder to see. The 3 moons of Nexus 7 gave just enough light to avoid the worst obstacles. I should have been on that transport, Jinho muttered to himself. I should be with my people. A sound from behind made him freeze. Something was following him. Jinho slowly reached for the small knife in his boot, his only weapon. No need for that, a familiar voice said. Calyx stepped into the moonlight. The alien looked stronger now, the wound barely visible. Why follow me? Jinho asked. You saved me, Calyx said. His human speech was already better. Now I save you. Jinho laughed bitterly. I'm stuck on a planet full of your kind. How can you save me? I know safe place, Calyx said. Food, water. No other Voraki go there. Jinho had few options. Stay alone and eventually be found by Voraki patrols, or trust the alien he had saved. Why help me? Jinho asked. Calyx touched the spot where the wound had been. Your medicine did something strange. I feel different. Jinho noticed it then. The alien's movements seemed more fluid, almost human-like, and his speech was improving rapidly. The Resolin 9, Jinho whispered. It must be affecting your brain somehow. Yes, Calyx said. I see things, feel things. Your memories. Jinho felt a chill run down his spine. This was impossible. Resolin 9 was just medicine. It couldn't transfer memories. But something strange was definitely happening. Show me this safe place, Jinho finally said. As they walked deeper into the forest, Jinho wondered what he had started when he gave the last human medicine to a dying alien predator. Whatever it was, There was no going back now. 3 days had passed since Jinho was left behind. He now lived in a small cave with Calyx. The cave was hidden behind a waterfall, as the alien had promised. No other Voreki came here. Jinho sat at the mouth of the cave, watching the sunrise. 3 suns rose one after another, painting the sky in shades of orange, pink, and deep purple. It was beautiful, but Jinho felt alone. Human said. Calyx asked, sitting beside him. Jinho nodded. I miss my people. Calyx tilted his head. But you not alone. I hear. Yes, but Jinho paused. How could he explain to an alien about friendship, about belonging? But to his surprise, Calyx said, you miss connection with your kind. Jinho looked at the alien with wide eyes. Yes. How did you know that? Calyx touched his own head. I feel it. Here. Over the past few days, Jinho had noticed that Calyx was changing. The alien's speech improved rapidly. He moved differently, more like a human. And sometimes, Calyx said things that Jinho was thinking before he could say them. Calyx, Jinho said slowly, does your kind have special abilities? Like mind reading? The alien nodded. Voreki have telepathy. Small kind, with our own kind only. Telepathy. You can read minds. Not read. Feel. Emotions. Thoughts sometimes. Only with other Voreki. Jinho thought about this. But you're feeling my thoughts now. And I'm human. Calyx looked troubled. Yes. This new. After your medicine. Jinho's medical mind raced. The Resolin 9 must have done something unexpected to Calyx's brain. Perhaps it had expanded his telepathic abilities. Can you show me? Jinho asked. How your telepathy works. Calyx moved closer. Must touch. For non-Voreki. The alien reached out slowly and placed a 3-fingered hand on Jinho's forehead. At first, nothing happened. Then Jinho felt a strange pressure in his mind. It didn't hurt, but it felt odd, like someone was gently knocking on a door inside his head. Think of something, Calyx said. Picture in mind. Jinho closed his eyes. He thought of Earth, of the green forests where he had grown up. He pictured his family home, a small house with a red door. Red door, Calyx said suddenly. Trees. Earth. Jinho opened his eyes in shock. Yes. You saw that. Calyx nodded. Clear, like my own memory. Jinho felt both amazed and frightened. Can I see your thoughts too? Not yet, Calyx said. But soon maybe. Medicine changing both of us. Changing me. Jinho touched his own face. How? You sleep talk. In Voreki language. Jinho hadn't known that. It was impossible. He didn't know any Voreki words. Suddenly, a sharp pain shot through Jinho's head. He gasped and pressed his hands against his temples. What's happening? He groaned. Calyx looked concerned. Connection growing. Too fast, maybe. The pain subsided, but Jinho felt different. His senses seemed sharper. He could hear the waterfall more clearly, smell the minerals in the cave walls. I had a dream last night, Jinho said slowly, about a place with tall black towers and a red sky. Was that your home? Calyx's 4 eyes widened. Yes, Voreki homeworld. You see my memories now. Jinho was stunned. The Resolin 9 hadn't just healed Calyx's wound. It had created some kind of mental link between them. Is this why your people attacked ours? Jinho asked. To capture our medicine. Calyx shook his head. No. War started. Misunderstanding. What misunderstanding? Before Calyx could answer, the pain returned to Jinho's head. This time, it came with flashes of images. A human ship firing on a Voreki vessel. Voreki children dying. Rage and grief. When the pain passed, Jinho was sweating. Those weren't my memories. No, Calyx said softly. Mine. First contact between our kinds. Jinho's hands were shaking. That's not how it happened. The Voraki attacked first. Everyone knows that. Not true, Calyx said. But words not enough. I show you. He reached out to touch Jinho's forehead again. This time, Jinho didn't see just images. He lived them. He became Calyx, witnessing the beginning of the war through alien eyes. And nothing would ever be the same again. Jinho gasped as Calyx's memories flooded his mind. He wasn't just seeing them. He was living them. He had become Calyx. He was on a Voraki ship. Around him stood other warriors, their 4 eyes watching the screens. A human ship had entered their space. They come near breeding grounds, a commander said. Must warn them away. Jinho, seeing through Calyx's memory, felt the concern. The humans were approaching a sacred place where Voraki young were born. No outsiders were allowed there. The Voraki sent warning signals, flashing lights, sound waves. But the human ship kept coming. They do not understand our signals, someone said. Then the human ship fired. Not at the Voraki ship, but at a small asteroid that was in their path. The Voraki didn't know this. They thought they were being attacked. In fear and anger, they fired back. The human ship exploded. More human ships came. More fighting started. Neither side tried to talk. Both thought the other had attacked first. The memory shifted. Jinho saw Voraki homes destroyed by human weapons. He felt Calyx's pain as friends died. He saw humans killed by Voraki claws. Both sides fighting, both thinking they were defending themselves. When Jinho opened his eyes, he was back in the cave. Tears ran down his face. All this time, he whispered. Both sides thought the other attacked first. Calyx nodded sadly. No one tried to talk. Pride. Fear. Easier to fight than understand. Jinho's head pounded with new knowledge. Everything he had been told about the war was wrong. Or at least it was only half the truth. I need to show my people this, Jinho said. If they knew, they would not believe. Calyx interrupted. Words not enough. Need to feel it. Jinho stood up and paced the cave. Then we need to show them somehow. Make them feel what I just felt. Suddenly, a new pain shot through Jinho's head. But this time, something else happened. His hand began to tingle. He looked down and saw his skin glowing faintly blue, the color of Resolin 9. Calyx, he said, alarmed. Something's happening to me. The alien moved closer, examining Jinho's glowing hand. Medicine changing you too, like it changed me. Jinho noticed that he could sense Calyx's thoughts without being touched now. Faint images and feelings drifted into his mind. The connection is getting stronger. He closed his eyes and concentrated. Now he could send his own thoughts to Calyx. Asterisk can you hear me asterisk? Yes, Calyx said aloud, surprised. In my mind. Over the next few days, the changes continued. Jinho found he could move faster than before. His senses grew sharper. Cuts on his skin healed almost instantly. The Resolin 9 had somehow altered his body. Calyx changed too. His movements became more human-like. He learned to smile, to laugh. His speech improved until he sounded almost human. One morning, Jinho woke to find Calyx staring at his own clawed hands. What's wrong? Jinho asked. Dreamed I was human, Calyx said softly. Walked on earth. Felt sun on skin. Your son. Jinho nodded. I dreamed I was on your world last night. I saw your family. Their minds were merging more each day. Jinho knew Calyx's childhood memories now. He remembered the taste of foods he had never eaten, the feel of planets he had never visited. We becoming something new, Calyx said. Not just human, not just Voraki. Jinho agreed. The Resolin 9 had created a bridge between their species, a bond that shouldn't have been possible. That night, As they sat watching the moon's rise, Jin-Ho felt a vibration in the ground. Something large was moving through the forest. Many somethings. Voraki search party, Calyx said, his 4 eyes narrowing. Looking for survivors. Jin-Ho's heart raced. Will they find us? Yes, Calyx said grimly. They follow my scent. Jin-Ho reached for his medical bag. Should we run? Calyx stood tall, his powerful body silhouetted against the moonlight. No, time to show truth. To my people first. Jin-Ho swallowed hard. If the Voraki didn't believe them, they would both die. But Calyx was right. Someone had to take the first step toward peace. Together, then, Jin-Ho said, standing beside his alien friend. The sounds of the search party grew closer. Jin-Ho and Calyx stepped out of the cave to meet them, not knowing if they faced death or a chance to end the war. 6 Voraki warriors stepped into the clearing near the cave. They were massive, each nearly 8 feet tall. Their armor gleamed in the moonlight. The leader, with red markings on his face, stepped forward. Commander Calyx, he asked, his voice deep and rough. We thought you dead. Calyx stood tall. I live, Grillvex. Grillvex's 4 eyes narrowed when he saw Jin-Ho. You keep human pet. Should be killed. Jin-Ho felt fear ripple through him, but he stood his ground. He noticed his skin was glowing faintly blue again, the Resolin 9 reacting to his stress. Not pet, Calyx said firmly. Friend. Healer. He saved my life. The Voraki warriors growled in disbelief. One raised his weapon. Human trick, Grillvex said. Humans cannot be trusted. Jin-Ho sensed Calyx's thoughts. Asterisk show them. Together. Asterisk. Jin-Ho stepped forward, standing beside Calyx. I used our medicine to heal him. Now we share a connection. Lies. Grillvex snarled. Kill the human. What happened next stunned everyone. As the warriors raised their weapons, Jin-Ho's body glowed bright blue. At the same time, Calyx's skin began to shimmer with the same light. Jin-Ho felt a strange energy flow through him. His senses sharpened even more. He could hear the heartbeats of everyone in the clearing. He could smell their fear. What is happening? One warrior asked, lowering his weapon. Jin-Ho moved with incredible speed, faster than any human should be able to move. He dodged past the warriors and stood behind them, then back beside Calyx in seconds. The warriors stared in shock. I am changing, Jin-Ho explained simply. The medicine I gave Calyx changed him, and now it's changing me too. To prove his point, Jin-Ho picked up a sharp rock and cut his palm. The warriors watched as the wound closed instantly, blue light sealing the flesh. Impossible, Grillvex whispered. Calyx stepped forward. Not impossible. New. Then Calyx did something that shocked the warriors even more. He spoke perfect human English, without any accent or struggle. The medicine created a bridge between our species. We share thoughts, memories, abilities. Jin-Ho nodded, and we know the truth about the war. How it really started. Grillvex looked uncertain now. What truth? Jin-Ho and Calyx moved as one. They both reached out, touching Grillvex's face. A surge of blue energy passed from their hands into the warrior. Grillvex gasped as memories flooded his mind, both human and Voraki perspectives of the first contact, the misunderstanding, the needless deaths. When they released him, Grillvex staggered back. This cannot be. It is true, Calyx said. We have lived each other's lives, felt each other's pain. The war started from fear and misunderstanding, not hatred. The other warriors looked confused, unsure what to do. Their commander seemed shaken by whatever he had experienced. Jin-Ho noticed his hand was changing. His 5 fingers were slowly merging into 4, becoming more like Voraki hands. He held it up for all to see. The change is getting faster, he said. Calyx nodded, showing his own hands. The claws were shrinking, becoming more human-like. We are becoming something between human and Voraki, Calyx explained. Not one, not other. Both. Grillvex stared at them. What does this mean? Before either could answer, a bright light appeared in the sky. A ship was descending through the atmosphere. Not a Voraki ship. Human. My people, Jin-Ho said, surprised. They came back for me. Calyx touched Jin-Ho's shoulder. Now we must convince them too. The human ship landed in a clearing nearby. The door opened, and a team of armed soldiers rushed out. Their leader was a woman with short black hair and determined eyes. That's Commander Sukja, Jin-Ho said. She leads rescue missions. The human soldiers and Voraki warriors faced each other, weapons ready. Years of war made them enemies, but standing between them were Jin-Ho and Calyx, neither fully human nor fully Voraki anymore. This is our chance, Jin-Ho said quietly to Calyx, to end the war. Calyx nodded. If they will listen. Together, they stepped into the space between the two groups, their bodies glowing with blue light. Whatever they had become, they were now the bridge between two worlds. Jin-Ho, Commander Sukja called out, step away from the aliens. At the same time, Grillvex growled to Calyx, return to your people, Commander. Neither Jin-Ho nor Calyx moved. They stood together, their skin glowing with blue light. I can't do that, Jin-Ho said clearly. And neither can Calyx. The human soldiers raised their weapons. The Voraki warriors extended their claws. Years of war had taught both sides to shoot first and ask questions later. Please listen, Jin-Ho said, raising his hands. The war is based on a mistake. Sukja frowned. What happened to your hands? Jin-Ho looked down. His hands now had only 4 fingers, like a Voraki's. Next to him, Calyx's claws had shrunk to almost human nails. The medicine I used to save him, Jin-Ho explained. Resolin 9. It did something unexpected. It connected us. He speaks truth, Calyx added in perfect human speech. This shocked the human soldiers. Sukja stepped forward cautiously. Jin-Ho, what's happened to you? Something amazing, Jin-Ho said. I understand them now. I've lived their memories. The war started because of a misunderstanding. Lies, a human soldier spat. They attacked us first. No, Calyx said. You came near sacred breeding grounds. We sent warnings. You did not understand. Then you fired on an asteroid. Jin-Ho continued. The Voraki thought you were attacking them. Grillvex stepped forward. I have seen the memory. Through their connection. It rings true. The soldiers on both sides looked uncertain. Could years of war really be based on a simple mistake? Words aren't enough, Jin-Ho said. Let us show you. Jin-Ho and Calyx joined hands. The blue glow spread between them, growing brighter and brighter until it expanded outward in a wave of light. The light touched everyone in the clearing. For a moment, nothing happened. Then gasps came from both sides. I can feel it, one human soldier whispered. Their thoughts. Their memories, a Voraki warrior said in wonder. In my mind. Jin-Ho and Calyx had created a telepathic field that let everyone experience each other's memories. Humans felt the Voraki fear when ships approached their sacred breeding grounds. Voraki understood the human confusion when their signals were misinterpreted as attacks. Slowly, weapons lowered on both sides. The truth was impossible to deny when experienced firsthand. Sukja stared at Jin-Ho with wide eyes. How is this possible? The Resolin 9, Jin-Ho explained. It doesn't just heal bodies. It can bridge minds too. We didn't know until now. A medicine that connects species, Grillvex said, his voice filled with wonder. That builds understanding. For the first time in 5 years, humans and Voraki stood together without fighting. The telepathic field faded, but the knowledge remained. We should talk, Sukja said to Grillvex. Really talk. For the first time. Grillvex nodded slowly. Yes, Too much blood has been spilled for a mistake. As the leaders of both groups moved off to talk, Jin-Ho and Calyx sat down, exhausted. Creating the telepathic field had drained their strength. It worked, Jin-Ho said, smiling weakly. Calyx nodded. Yes, the beginning of peace. Jin-Ho looked at his changed body. What happens to us now? We're not fully human or Voraki anymore. We are bridge, Calyx said simply, between worlds. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. 6 months later, Jin-Ho stood before the Human Voraki Peace Council. His body had stabilized, part human and part Voraki. Beside him stood Calyx, similarly changed. The Resolin 9 formula has been modified, Jin-Ho explained to the council. It can now be used to help our species understand each other better. Not just understand, Calyx added. Heal old wounds, build new future. The council leaders nodded in agreement. The war had ended. Trade routes were opening. Cultural exchanges had begun. And what about you two? Asked the human representative. Jin-Ho smiled. I will go to the Voraki homeworld as the first human ambassador. And I will go to Earth, Calyx said. We will be the first of many bridges between our peoples. As they left the council chamber, Jin-Ho thought about that day on Nexus 7, when he had used his last medicine to save an enemy. He had never imagined that one act of compassion would change everything. A dying alien predator, a human medic, and a medicine that bridged worlds. Sometimes the most surreal outcomes came from the simplest acts of kindness. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. The end asterisk, asterisk, asterisk.